Let's talk about facts.
Riding, then we're riding, baby. Street say that we so crazy. I don't care, don't you ever try play me. I ain't tight, no test flights. I bring it on my worst nights.
This video is for educational and enlightenment purposes only. Anything I state is only my opinion. Welcome back to another edition of Clickbait Media. I am your host, Rob Caesar Baby. If this your first time here, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so whenever I post, you will know that I am here. Now, in this edition, we will address a coon and a coonette that wants to justify the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. One, he is a former police. The other one is a conservative / political activist. And they're wanting to justify the citizen's arrest that the McMichaels was trying to employ. And this is how the media uses our own people to justify their killings. But we are going to get into the facts. So let's dive into what they said and let's break this narrative down.
So here are some updates in Ahmaud Arbery's case that a lot of people may not like because people have jumped to conclusions and picked a side before any of this stuff came out. And now many people are going to walk around with an egg on their face when I told people very vividly and clearly to wait before you pick a side.
Now, with just those few words, all my people can understand where this is headed to. So, I ain't got to play everything. I can skip through it, and you will see.
You don't need to be pro McMichael. You don't need to be pro Arbery. You need to be pro facts. You need to go with the facts and information that you have available. And also, if you have a level of expertise, use your common sense and expertise.
Okay, you heard what he said. Use your common sense and expertise. That means free think for yourself and know what's right from wrong. So we're going to assume that's what you were doing, Officer Tatum.
I'm a former police officer, and I got a huge level of experience and understanding on how law works, how arrests work, and how court proceedings work.
Note, he has a high level of how everything works. Court proceedings all the way down to arrest. So let's say it's some fuckery here.
There is no unequivocal evidence that he was jogging through the community. There's no video evidence, and there's no witness testimony that that's what he was doing. The only person that says that Ahmaud Arbery was jogging, unfortunately, he can't give the statement, but his mom believed that he was in the community jogging. Video evidence have surfaced. A lot of people are rejecting it, but it's evidence, it's video. It's going to be in a court testimony at some point. So instead of the jogging scenario, which has been debunked,
this is where I want you to pay attention. How the media is using video and coons to paint a narrative for citizens' arrest.
Video evidence shows Ahmaud Arbery walking down this residential street. He walks up to a house that is not occupied. This is not a construction site like people would envision, where there's just a frame on a house and there's no real construction. This is nearly a fully built house that happened to have been renovated and nobody's living there. So it's unoccupied. So the image in people's minds have been that this is a construction site on just frames and it's an open area.
How do you know that's the image that's in people's mind? Are you a mind reader now? Can we come to you and you flip over tarot cards and tell us what our future be? Can you tell us what are we thinking about you right now? So this is the image that's in people's mind? How can you predict what's in people's mind? Because people paint a picture of what they think differently from what you think. Come on, that's common sense.
That's not what it is. This is a legit house. Now, you can see on the video that has been presented that Ahmaud Arbery is walking through the community. He stops in front of the house. He looks both ways to see if anybody's watching him or can see him.
Another fuckboy narrative. How do you know he stopped to see if anyone was watching him or could see him? Maybe he was looking at the house. Maybe he seen it was under construction. Maybe he was wondering, maybe I could have got a job. Because I know how to do certain skills that will make me money. You didn't paint that first narrative first. The first narrative you said was, he was looking to see if somebody was watching him. Who the fuck you playing with?
And he does a small sprint.
Okay, I just want to know, what the fuck is a small sprint? Is that a trot, or was he trying to get there? Well, maybe that justifies he was jogging. He was trying to get back to his jog. He was taking a breath when he came there. He seen his house, and then he trotted up to the house. Okay, it was a small sprint. What the fuck is a small sprint? Ain't such thing as a small sprint. The fuck you talking about? Either you're sprinting or you're not.
Into the driveway, and then he walks into the house through the garage. Now, initially, the video that I'm referring to, you can't tell if he's inside the house or just in the garage at this point in time. But a few minutes later or so, he comes walking out and re-enters the house at another location.
Now, you just said you couldn't see if he was in the garage or in the house with this footage. So how could you possibly know with this footage that he came out of another location? It don't make sense. We use the common sense here now. You can't see whether he was in the house or outside, whether he was in or out, but you know he came out of another location. Come on, either you know he was in the house or you know he was out the house.
Now, there's other video that has surfaced of him actually in the house. I've only seen 7 seconds of it.
Once again, common sense. If you say he was in the house for a few minutes and then came out, why is there only 7 seconds of him being released inside the house? 7 seconds. Why isn't all the footage released? Don't try to tell me he was in there looking for something to steal. Don't try to tell me he was trying to get away with all this other bullshit. Don't try. Can you see the narrative that they're beginning to paint?
Although he was in the house for almost 3 minutes. Now, there is no evidence to rule out if he had actually taken something or attempted to take something or not based on the 7-second video. However, according to Georgia law, if you enter a dwelling, which this house classified as a dwelling means a structure that's constructed for the purpose of people living in it, it can be occupied, unoccupied, or vacant, and it still is considered a dwelling. If a person enters a dwelling with the intent to commit a felony or theft, that person is responsible for first-degree burglary. First-degree burglary in Georgia law is a felony. So as Mr. Arbery is going into the residence, he's looking around. A reasonable person would believe he's not looking around because he's trying to figure out where he want to put his brand new couch. A reasonable person would believe that he's looking around because he's trying to look for something. Now, look for something in a house that does not belong to you sounds like you have intent to grab something, take something, which is theft.
So, you mean to tell me there is no such thing as house shopping? Even if the house is still under construction, there's plenty of people that stop by houses that are still being constructed that are not theirs. Maybe they want to know who constructed it. Maybe they want to look for a job. Maybe they want to work on the house. How is this trespassing? And on top of that, the owner didn't even say he stole nothing. Remember, you have a 7-second video, 7 seconds. The rest of the video, you know it's out there. But what you see him looking, and you justify off 7 seconds that he's looking to steal something. The logical reason is he's stealing. Why? Because he's black. Come on now.
Now, a person walks out of the house and witnesses Mr. Arbery in the house. They walk out and shouts at him, which this has been confirmed from an independent source that I know who live in the area. They yell at him, and then he bolts out of the house and he's running and is visible on the camera.
Now let's paint this narrative. There's a person who was across the street from where the finger was pointed, looked over there and seen him in the house that was unoccupied, but it was still a house, spotted him. If you know that in this neighborhood, that this house is being constructed, why would you yell at somebody? You don't know if this person is working over here or what. You know, now, if you live in this area and you know that this house is under construction, how could you say that this person that is over here is not supposed to be here if you are not the owner of this house? Come on. You trying to tell me that this person just said, oh, you're not supposed to be there. How do they know who is not supposed to be there? Do they have ties to this house? Do they own the house? Listen to the narrative. We using common sense. How did a person that is across the street, know that he is not supposed to be there? How? Who are they? They're not telling you who are they. Do they have any ties to the house? Now, this is what the owner, Mr. Larry English, had to say about the footage, which only had 7 seconds that has been released so far.
So, Mr. English, thank you so much for taking this opportunity. I know it's not convenient. I know it is frightening to be in the crosshairs of this situation for you and your family. So thank you for taking the time.
You're welcome.
And Counselor, you as well. Thank you for making this possible. Mr. English, what is your feeling about the fact that surveillance video of your home in construction has become relevant and used the way you believe it is being used in this situation?
Well, first off, I would like to say that this is a tragedy, and I'm deeply sorry for the family and their loss. And also, it's for my family's loss of peace. It's been destroyed when we were just innocent bystanders in the situation. As far as the video goes, I don't want it to be put out and misused and misinterpreted for people to think that I had accused of Mr. Arbery of stealing or robbery, because I never did.
You never filed any report. You never called 911 about this video.
The video of February 23rd, I made no calls.
Do you believe that Arbery stole anything from your house that day?
No, whatsoever.
Now, there is a 911 call provided by Gregory McMichael. And on that 911 call, they're explaining that they visibly see Mr. Arbery currently in an unoccupied structure. And that while they're on the 911 call, they see him running out of the occupied structure. And then they give chase, according to all the documents that I've read.
Now let's talk about all these documents that you've read and all this inside knowledge. Now, if that was the case, why are you not dropping receipts? Now you claim that you know the citizen's arrest for Georgia. Why are you not dropping it? You just speaking this shit. You not showing it on your screen.
Now, according to Georgia law, if you witness a person or you have firsthand knowledge, or they say immediate knowledge of a crime, and it's a felony, you can pursue and conduct a citizen's arrest.
Note that he said if you have immediate or first-hand knowledge that a crime is being committed. Now, not from the video, or from the person that allegedly was across the street, they could not confirm that Mr. Arbery was committing a crime. So, not off, you have to immediately know they are committing a crime. You can't go off speculation. So it's safe to say they went off speculation. They could not see him. They were not in the residence with him. They do not know what he was doing. So they went off of a speculation.
And an arrest, if people don't understand what that term means, that means that you are able to grab a person, detain a person where they cannot leave. That is considered an arrest. So Georgia law gives Greg and Travis McMichael lawful reason or lawful ability to conduct a citizen's arrest on Mr. Arbery, who they've witnessed commit a crime.
You see where the coon shit come in? They witnessed him commit a crime, but nobody was in the house with him. They do not know whether he took anything. They do not know what he was there for. They do not know what he was there working. They do not know nothing. The speculation is, they say he ran off. Okay, let's just say he did run off. He was jogging. Okay, maybe he was jogging and he was leaving the premises anyway. And maybe he didn't even hear y'all. He don't know what the fuck. What gives you the right to chase him down with guns? And you saying this is a citizen's arrest? But you did not see anything. When you called, you only speculated that you believe that he is a burglar.
Let's talk about the possession or carrying of a gun to a citizen's arrest. Now, according to Georgia law, the McMichaels are within the constitutional rights and the open carry laws of Georgia to possess and also put guns in their vehicle whenever they travel. And just because you are traveling to conduct a citizen's arrest or whatever the case may be, does not negate your constitutional right to open carry. Now, when they get out of the car with a shotgun, which is a long gun or shotgun according to Georgia law, they have a right to open carry that gun. That does not necessitate or does not indicate an immediate use of force.
Now you see this bullshit, right? He trying to justify this citizen's arrest when you clearly look up, can you perform a citizen's arrest with a gun? And it states, if the crime is violent, you may draw your gun and issue commands at gunpoint if you believe that the actions pose an imminent threat of death, of great bodily harm. If criminal runs away, let him go. And clearly, he was running away. If you suspected him of doing any threats or anything, he was running away. You didn't expect him of killing nobody. You expect him of stealing. What grounds for a citizen's arrest with a gun that kills someone justifies this? Come on now, Officer Tatum. Come on. Stop fucking cooning us, bro. Now you have this 7-second video of him inside the building of a man who monitors his building. Come on, 7 seconds. Why is there only 7 seconds? You can say, oh, that's all I see from this 7 seconds. But you ain't have common sense to question why there only 7 seconds when he was in there for a few minutes. Why does the footage maybe say he was looking around saying, hello, is anybody here? I need a job. But you ain't, the first thing you said was, if anybody's there unlawfully, they stealing. So when white people's looking at this shit like that, they stealing. Anybody else look, they stealing. Man, you full of shit, motherfucker. But I ain't through yet. Let's get to the CNN reporter, Miss Candice Owens, who wants to come on your platform. Let's get to her. And I'm finna roast her. So for all y'all that don't know who Candice Owens is, Candice Amber Owens Former is an American conservative commentator and political activist. She is known for her pro-Trump activism and her criticism of Black Lives Matter and the Democratic Party. Born in 1982 in Connecticut. Spouse, George Foreman. Now, why is that important? She is Owens, and she is married to a George Foreman. But her husband is British. He is a British farmer, which made his profits off of enslaving black slaves. Now, I want to shout out young Pharaoh for bringing all this to perspective because we need this information. Now, as you can see, the documented names of farmers that came to the Americas during the time of slavery. Note, the last names are farmer. And I only ask you to take note of that because Candice Owens' husband, George Foreman, is named after one of his great-grandfathers, whose name is George Foreman, who was from Britain and was part of the Royal Navy and was a Royal Navy officer to Queen Elizabeth of that time. Now, if you was to Google, and Wikipedia would tell you that the Royal Navy was UK's naval force. Why am I telling you about this here? Let me tell you why they are so important, UK's naval force, from ancient history. It is because the Royal Navy used to own slaves for the UK. And this heifer has married her slave master. But just don't take my word for it. Everything I state, go Google it and look it up for yourself. So therefore, all this black politicking that Mrs. Candice Owens is doing is null and void, because deeply it seems like she is not for her people. When she can marry someone who owned slaves in their family history, but at the same time, down her own people. So right now, I'm finna break her down.
What is your take on the reaction that we've seen nationwide to Ahmaud Arbery's case?
It is just standard, two elements. Standard, the media being propagandists, and trying to manufacture and sell a story in a way that does not need to be sold. And standard, the Black community taking the bait. You know, I mean, it is hook, line, and sinker every single time with the Black community. There's never a pause to collect your thoughts. There's never a pause to wait. Just simply wait a couple of seconds for more information to come out.
Now, does this sound like the same line we always get for every justifiable shooting? Wait for the information to come out. Wait for this. Wait for that. Wait for the truth. Wait. Don't just jump to speculations. Don't they always do this to us when they are getting ready to set up a justification for them killing us? But I'm finna get ready to crack y'all backs in a minute. Just wait.
Gregory McMichael is a retired investigator for the Brunswick District Attorney's Office. The I-Team discovered for 8 years of his time as an investigator, he was not a certified law enforcement officer.
So what you got to say about that, Officer Tatum and Candice Owens? Let those facts crack your back.
Black people being hunted down and lynched. If you are a Black person in 2020 and you hear a narrative that sounds like it's from 1913, you should pause and think. You should just go, you know what? That just sounds weird, because I've been a lot of places. I've been to almost every state. I've never been in a scenario where people just suddenly were chasing me on foot and lynching. And yet it's incredible. The 1913 narrative sells so quickly amidst a society of people, a society of Black Americans who have lived through virtually nothing. It's incredible. It's frustrating, but
did this heifer just say we are a society of Black people that haven't lived through anything? Nothing. We haven't lived through nothing. We haven't had no persecutions or nothing. Nothing has happened to us to try to leave us down at the bottom. She just said this. You heard this out of your own mouth. We have virtually lived through nothing. On top of that, she said there is no such thing as mobs running around in 2020. Let's just see if that's correct.
Them in their own home. They say the group included an off-duty deputy with the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office. Attorney James Lee wrote a letter on behalf of Monica Shepard and her son Damien to District Attorney Ben David. It says the group showed up at the Shepard family's home Sunday asking about a missing 15-year-old girl. Damien and his mom told the group they had the wrong house and they did not know the girl's whereabouts.
The letter says the deputy, J.T. Kidda, was in uniform and armed and stopped the door from being closed on the home with his foot and demanded to be let in. The attorney's letter says 2 deputies and a captain with the Pender County Sheriff's Office responded, but did not take any action. No one is charged, and for that reason, the family feels like their civil rights were violated.
And they want action taken against the people who formed that group. WECT's Anna Phillips talked with the family about what happened.
This really comes down to a family not feeling safe in their own home after they say an angry mob of armed people, including a New Hanover County Sheriff's deputy, stormed their front steps demanding to be let inside. The family wants to see those responsible for their fear held accountable for these actions.
Hey, ma'am, have you about a 17, 18-year-old doctor here tonight by any chance? No.
They said they were looking for a missing girl. The commotion got the attention of the entire neighborhood Sunday night. People coming out on their porches, capturing on Ring doorbell cameras. Several cars lined up in front of Monica Shepard's home, where she lives with her 18-year-old son.
I'm still in shock. I'm literally like, I don't sleep well. I'm still in shock.
Damien is graduating from Laney High School this year without the usual fanfare because of COVID-19.
I don't think in my 40 years of living here in New Hanover County I've ever seen anything like this. We are so lucky that nobody got shot or killed.
Damien says he was playing video games Sunday night when he heard a loud knock on the door and opened it.
I see these guys in front of me and they're holding guns, and it looks like there's one in a police uniform. And he's the one that speaks to me first. He says, we're looking for a missing girl. We were given this address and we were given your name, and we were told that she's here, so we're gonna enter in.
The noise woke his mom, who jumped into action, pushing her son out of the door to the other side of the room, fearing he'd be hurt.
Coming to the door like that with a mob of people with guns, what do we expect? What were the intentions? Like, what if he was the person that they were looking for? Or what if I was not at home? What would have happened? I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want him to be a statistic.
Damien says he told the group they had the wrong guy and the girl wasn't there. His mom says her son repeated his own name, chanting it over and over until it clicked for the group that he wasn't the person they were looking for.
But the whole time, of course, I noticed the weapon on the law enforcement's hip, and I didn't know what was going to happen.
The Shepards now want answers for why no one is facing charges, and they want to see the members of the group held responsible.
But you can put your department in a lot of legal issues if you start speaking on behalf of your own personal beliefs while you're wearing uniform. Because you are speaking, when you're in uniform, you're speaking on behalf of a police department.
Now, with that being said, you have facts that Ahmaud wasn't stealing anything. And you also have facts that in 2020, there are still mobs running up to people's houses with guns. They ain't got to have no ropes. You ain't got to say nothing to a lynch mob. But it's still, that shit is still going the fuck on. So who the fuck are you playing with? Don't play with me. You using common sense now against y'all common sense motherfuckers.
But that was my first reaction, which was just, here we go again.
Yeah, I think that's probably most of our first reaction. I know that when I first heard about it and they were saying, oh, the man was just gunned down in cold blood, and it's like it's too juicy, man. That's like Jussie Smollett. You know, it's like
it seems too juicy, like Jussie Smollett. How the fuck can you compare Jussie Smollett with Ahmaud Arbery? Ahmaud was shot. Jussie Smollett was beat up. He was beat up by black people. Ahmaud was shot by white people. How the fuck can you compare that to that? You sound stupid.
White boys in MAGA hats and negative 20-degree weather is beating you up.
Yeah.
It just don't sound right. And I think people should just take time. And I think that's what you said. I said it at the beginning. Just take your time and figure out what's going on. There's no need to do a knee-jerk reaction and end up on the wrong side of the plate. You know, that guy wasn't innocent like they thought he was.
It's a little bit of...
This is where you hear the police come out of him. He went from being Ahmaud Arbery to that guy. That guy wasn't as innocent as they made him seem to be.
Of brainwashing, because there are no black people living today that have lived through times where, you know, black Americans are getting lynched, can't walk down the street, and, you know, can't step out of their homes.
This bitch just said there is no black Americans that have ever lived through the slavery process or close to it. So if you find a black American that is 100 years old or plus or close to it, they couldn't tell you nothing about what went on. Nothing. Man, who are you kidding? It's 2020. If I find someone that was 100, that was born in 1920, okay, before then, come on, I'm 37 years old. And I know for a fact, if there is someone that is 100 years old, they could tell me about slavery.
And yet black Americans today are using rhetoric that people that lived through those times didn't use. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather, who actually dealt with the real Ku Klux Klan, would not be like, we literally can't step out of our homes, you know, we're being lynched. So it's interesting to see how easy it is to create a mind. And because...
I want to show you how easy it is to create a mind. Because you can easily create a mind from the truth. It ain't gonna take long. You can lie to a motherfucker all you want to. But when they see the truth, we gonna see how it is to create a man.
Now when it comes to racism, you know who the most racist people are for real? The real most racist people? Old black men.
Yeah, but see, the people who run this ain't worried about it because it's repeat. You can't get it repeat. When you learned your ABCs, it wasn't because you learned it once a month. It's every day, ABC.
I'm killing him, I see him. I should have never married that white woman. Hold it right there. Oh, shit.
Hey, you. Where are you going?
I'm going to mind my fucking business. That's where I'm going. Do you have a problem with that, officer?
Again with the questions. What is this, Jeopardy?
No, it ain't Jeopardy. It ain't Monopoly either. And I ain't going to jail.
Freeze! Freeze!
He ain't go through that. I can't get a cab shit. He was the cab. White man just jumped on his back, Main Street. Left, nigga! Left, nigga! Left, you fucking nigga!
No, it's white supremacy. Okay. White supremacy. That's who it is.
Okay.
Supreme. And if I'm not supreme to you, I'll make you think I am. That's how it works.
Now, do you see how easy it was for me to paint that narrative or narratives? I can easily paint more than one within those and spread it around the whole community of men. Black men, to be exact, is what you trying to feed in. Make us all look bad. Now, please explain to us, Miss Owens, why you were spotted here throwing up Illuminati hand gestures, typically the number 9, along with either 14, 15, or 16. So with all this, I think it's safe to say that you are a past suspect. It's to the point that we know that you will sell us out. It's to the point that we know that you are a traitor to your own people. Yes, look at your actions. I have nothing else to say about it.
This narrative, right? This 1913 narrative, this 1895 narrative.
Come on now. I know your lizard looking ass ain't finna tell me that slavery went on from 1895 to 1913. Did you realize what the fuck you just said? Or is that just a narrative that you're trying to paint? If you're gonna use a narrative, use real terminology. Or what you referring to, lynchings or whatever? Because lynchings have been going on. Man, I can dig up. Don't start me digging up lynchings that you're not reporting. And you have a position where you can even get on the news and anchor. You have segments that you can get on there. Come on. And you use your platform to destroy us. And you have a guy that was a police. And y'all trying to justify this fucking citizen's arrest. Who are you lying to? I can see this. Man, come on. Somebody paying y'all to do this here? But you want to say people coming at y'all? Don't you? You knew people were finna come at you when you were saying the stupid shit you were saying. Come on. You trying to justify. And you as police, you, like I said, you went to the police ways. That guy wasn't as... That guy... Man, that guy had a family. That guy didn't deserve to be shot like that. That guy didn't deserve to have people jump out on him with a gun. But you trying to justify that? And you got her on the news, man. She trying to make all... Y'all trying to make all of us look bad. Trying to make all of... Even yourself, man. You stupid, bro. You make yourself look bad. You think, goddamn, if motherfucker don't know who you is, you gonna just be another black guy. Man, you stupid, bro. Man, I'm through with this motherfucking shit, bro. Through with it. I ain't got shit else to say about it. But before I get up out of here, I want to leave y'all with one more clip that I actually agree with Miss Owens. Because we as black people, we are defying reality. And we are waking up. And she says that it happens over and over and over again. Well, if it happens over and over and over again, we're going to continually to wake up over and over and over again until that time where we are fully awoke. And if that's sad to you, Miss Owens, then I don't know what to say. Because to me, it seems like you hate your race. I don't know what it is. I might be wrong. Correct me if I am. But how can you speak on a narrative about black people when you ain't even married to a black man? And everything come out your mouth is denouncing us. We trying to make progress over here. We don't need y'all holding us back. So with certain people that's getting kicked up out of here that we trying to make progress with. We don't need. Just like it's finna be a war going on, it's gonna be a war. It's called a civil war within our own community. Because we finna be trying to clean ourselves up. We already working on it. We trying to make some progress. We trying to get them to notice us this year during the election season. We don't need y'all trying to denounce us. We trying to get some notice and recognitions We know what kind of power we got. Because if we don't vote or do any other thing that they need us to do, a lot of things is not going to go right. But y'all over here denouncing us when we trying to make progress. It don't matter what it is. The way y'all attack this black man and attacking him, man, it seemed like y'all was paid to do this. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. And I'm just your host, Rob Caesar, baby. And this is Clickbait Media. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm up out of here. Peace.
Has become so part and parcel of the mainstream narrative. Black Americans actually believe it's going on. Like, they actually think it's a plausible situation that happens every time, and it defies reality, it defies common sense, it defies statistics, and for me, it's sad. It's just sad to see it happen over and over and over again.
It's riding, then we're riding, baby. Screech say that we so crazy. I don't care, don't you ever try play me. I ain't tight, no test lights. I bring it on my worst